Hey guys, Tony from ClifRock, how you doing? We are going to go over the grayscale. Gray tones, we did the earth tones last week. I figured I'd show you the image of the grayscales this week. So on this one, we did the desert sand for the base on the earth tone kit. Now we're going to use just the natural, the lightest gray we have. So we're going to use that as our primer on this one, and then use desert sand for accent stones, antique gray, and then our ClifRock gray, which is a slate gray. It's really nice looking. So we're going to go over that one this week, and I'll show you how it's done. Make sure it's not on beam, and then we'll just get this thing coated. The biggest thing is, you always want to start with your lightest tones or your lightest colors because it'll be easier to have those accent stones cover up with the darker, obviously, the darker tones. Cover up that light gray or that desert sand so those tones can pop and you're not spraying your base coat over those colors and kind of toning them down any. You want those to be vivid and vibrant, so always start with your primer and then work from there. Alright guys, so now that we have our base coat down on the natural, looks really good. Now I got my three colors. Again, ratios on your stain, 3 to 1. 1 part stain to 3 part water, okay? Right here, our accent colors, antique gray, ClifRock gray, which is a nice slate gray again, and then desert sand. We just put one little earth tone in there to kind of really get it to blend together nicely. So I will start with the antique gray. And again, with this panel, I'll pick 7 stones of each color and it'll blend in nicely. We'll mix. So really, I don't want to just keep picking like big blocks. I want to scatter them on all the sizes because I want to leave light colors, leave some of the big stones for the other colors also. So really just change it up. But again, don't ever touch, don't let an antique go on an antique. That's really the biggest thing. It's just kind of really spreading them out. And then just to get your bristles inside those little grout lines, it's a little thinner on these. But just let your bristles get in there and just color those edges. You just don't want to touch the face. And then see that the edges are like the primer color. So you just get them up in there. Different variety brushes are good too. Like I'm using a 3-inch. You can definitely use a 1-inch for the thinner bricks, stones. So now I'm doing the ClifRock gray. Do that, seven blocks. And this is, like I said, this one's nice. It's got that bluish tint to it. Just that slate gray, which complements definitely for a grayscale. All right, now we're on to our last color, which is the desert sand. Like I said, I just like to throw a little bit of an earth tone in there. Kind of breaks up the color some, which is nice. So again, you'll barely see this go on, but as it dries, that sandy tint will start to show. So don't add 2 coats, because it'll be a little too much. All right, now we're on to our last color, which is the desert sand. Like I said, I just like to throw a little bit of an earth tone in there. Kind of breaks up the color some, which is nice. So again, you'll barely see this go on, but as it dries, that sandy tint will start to show. So don't add 2 coats, because it'll be a little too much. Always use a rag. So that's it. You get you 7 colors on each. Looks good, and like I said, that sand, once that dries, it'll darken, it'll pop more, and then when you seal your panels, it'll pop even more. So that's why I'm saying don't go too crazy if it's light, because it won't be. It'll pop. Now, this goes for whatever kitchen panel you buy, ledge stack, random rock, dry stack. You can do the same on all of those, the same way I did on this kit, and the effects come out the same all the time. So the other thing I would say or suggest is don't give the customer too many color options. If you do, that might overwhelm them, and then it's going to probably drive you a little crazy too, because you're just trying to work with them. But if you give them a couple options, it's a lot simpler that way. Just an earth tone and a grayscale, and call it a day. Just give them those 2 options to start with, and have at it. We're finished with the grayscale. Same. We're going to use a 60 grit sandpaper and just go right over it. And that's it. So the biggest thing is you don't want to keep digging at the stain and just keep ripping the color off. You just want a tumble effect, just to hit the high points, and you're done. See you next time.